Okay guys, here's the watch in greater detail, and right away I'm going to go over this watch's 42mm case. Now not only is the case in kind of an odd shape where it has these square corners, but it also is made out of grade 5 titanium, and that's underneath, and then the black coating is actually a titanium carbide coating, which gives it this really rich and deep black. But I really like how they did it, because this black, it's not kind of overdoing it with this watch. I think the black case matches the dial and everything absolutely perfectly. I also love how well it is polished on the bezel there. It looks absolutely stunning. So, actually, right away here though, before I get into more detail over this watch, is I'm actually going to explain the history behind the original that was made in 1976. Now that watch was originally made to commemorate Ferrari's F1 World Championship win in 1975 with Niki Lauda and Clay Regazzoni. And if you guys don't know about F1 very much, Niki Lauda was one of the most famous F1 drivers in all of F1 history. So now I'm going to move on and continue with the watch. So now I'm going to actually go on to the dial. Now the dial, as you can see, is very, very unique. It has a lot of different colors to it, and it looks very nice, at least in my opinion. One thing I like about it is how it has two Chronograph Sub Dials, and that was actually the same with the original. The original was a little different. Here, I'm going to get that second hand out of the way, one sec. So there. Now, the original was actually a little different, where one sub dial was a little displaced. It wasn't perfectly even across with the other one, and it was a lot smaller. Now, they tried to carry through with that. As you can see, this one is quite a little bit smaller in size, but I really still like how this watch kind of captures the 70s. If you just look at kind of the really bright colors and kind of the odd shapes of both the case, and then with having the 3 red marks on that sub dial, just looks 70s. You can just kind of tell that right when you see it. And I really like that look. You can also see a nice hint of red on the tachymeter chapter ring in there, which can be used to find how fast you're going. And it just looks very, very nice. One thing I will say, though, is I wish on the dial of this watch, and really every heritage watch that is made by any brand, I wish they wouldn't patina the lume. I think that if you're going to make a heritage watch, you should make it like the original watch looked when it was brand new, not kind of like how it would look later in time. So I really think that they should have given it the normal white lume like all the originals did, instead of giving it this patina. But then again, a lot of people do like the patina, and the patina definitely does look good on this watch. That's just one thing that I would like to see on really any heritage watch. I'm not a huge fan of patina lume. Unless it's original patina, then I like it. I don't like fake patina. So now I'm going to actually demonstrate the chronograph. So the chronograph, as you heard me say earlier, it's a caliber 17 movement by Tag Heuer, which is actually the ETA 2894 movement. Tag Heuer does this with a lot of their watches. They kind of rebrand ETA movements and claim the design as their own. Now that really isn't kind of taking away from the watches. The movement is very reliable, and really all ETA movements are, so you're really not going to have any issues with that. I just think Tag Heuer should be a little bit more honest with their watches. I know they got in trouble a while ago with using a Seiko chronograph movement, but I really wish that they would just be a little bit more honest to the origins of their movements. But overall, it functions great. So you saw I started it with that one. Now I'm going to stop it here. Now, the action on this is very, very tough. At first, when I tried to start this, I thought that I wasn't doing it right or something, or maybe for some reason this started it, because this takes a lot of force to push down, but just know that this is the start-stop, and that you just have to keep pushing, and eventually you'll hit it. Now, the reset, though, works very smoothly. Just a little bit of pressure, then flies right back. It works absolutely brilliantly. And if I didn't mention this already, but you have your minute sub-dial on the left for the chronograph, and then your running seconds on the right. So now I'm going to do a wrist shot. Here we go. And by the way, the deployant on this watch, and really all other of Tag Heuer's deployants are just very easy to use. They're just your simple push button. This one is titanium, by the way. It's your simple push button. They just come off and then they lock down with a reassuring click. I really like that. I'm not a huge fan of the deployants where you have to just use pure force to pull them off. I feel like sometimes it's hard to take those off or they're just going to fall off. But this one fits very well. Now, the way this watch fits on the wrist is absolutely perfect for a sports watch, especially a chronograph. It's not too thick at all, and the 42 millimeter size fits my wrist absolutely perfectly. And by the way, my wrist is around 7 inches, so know that for scale. The strap as well is extremely comfortable. It's a calfskin leather strap, but it's a nice racing design strap. As you can see, it's got the holes punched in it. And Tag Heuer actually says that this is made to kind of resemble an old automotive steering wheel. I mean, I don't really see how it looks that much like a steering wheel, but it does look very, very cool and retro. And that's, I think, really what they wanted to achieve. So, overall, though, this watch looks great on the wrist, and I just really love how this watch is made. I'm not a huge fan of Tag Heuer's kind of modern pieces, but their heritage watches, I gotta give it to them. They make the cases and the dials just extremely well. I think it has a whole new quality level over the other pieces in their collection. They look absolutely great and are built very, very well. So, overall, this watch is available here at JB Hudson for a price of $5,200, and I think that's actually a great deal. It's a very high quality piece. It for sure meets up to Omega and other watch companies like that, and I just really like it. It's nice and light. It's a great sports watch, not too thick, 42 millimeters, perfect, and it has a lot of history behind it as well. So remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.